She ordered a martini on the Deal or No Deal stage. She had male models serving her drinks on national television. She picked her case number because it was her late husband's favorite number. And when the banker offered her $221,000, she looked at that number and said, "No, I want more." This is Laura Ciano from Long Island, and this might be the most fun, most heartfelt, and most perfectly played game of Deal or No Deal you will ever see. Laura Ciano is a mother of 3 daughters from Long Island, New York. She is the kind of woman who walks into a room and immediately becomes the center of it. She is funny, she is loud, she is confident, and she does not apologize for any of it. That is Laura Ciano in a nutshell. She is here to have a good time, and if she happens to win $1 million along the way, even better. But underneath all that energy and all those laughs, there is a story that will break your heart. Laura's husband Theo recently passed away. He is not here tonight, and his absence hangs over the entire episode like a quiet shadow behind all the celebration. Laura's daughters and her family are in the audience, but Theo's seat is empty. And when it comes time to pick a case, Laura does not hesitate. Case number 7. It was Theo's favorite number. She is playing this game for herself, for her daughters, and for the memory of the man she loved. First round, 6 cases. Laura loses some medium numbers, but keeps all 4 of the biggest amounts alive: $100,000, $300,000, $500,000, and $1 million. That is a spectacular first round. The board is loaded, and the offers are about to start climbing. The banker calls with the first offer $17,000. Laura does not even consider it.
No deal!
No deal. With 4 massive numbers still in play and a martini in her hand, $17,000 is an insult. She is just getting started. 5 more cases. Laura takes some hits. She loses $400,000. But the big 4 survive. The offer goes up to $26,000. Still not enough. No deal. She opens more cases, knocks out small amounts beautifully, and keeps the board looking dangerous for the banker. The offer jumps to $65,000. Now we are getting somewhere. But Laura looks at that board, sees the $1 million and the $500,000 still sitting there, and says, no deal. She is playing this game with the confidence of a woman who has already survived the worst thing life can throw at you.
No deal!
More cases, more small amounts falling. The board keeps getting better. The offer climbs to $90,000. Laura is on a heater. Everything she touches turns to gold. The big numbers refuse to fall, and her energy is infectious. The audience is on their feet. Her daughters are screaming. Even the male model bartenders are getting into it, and Howie seems like he is having the single best night of his entire career hosting this show. No deal, $90,000 rejected. 1 case at a time now, and Laura keeps dodging bullets. The $1 million is still alive. The $500,000 is still alive. The offers are climbing into territory most contestants never see. $139,000. No deal. And then the big one, $221,000. That is the offer. More than $200,000 guaranteed dollars. For a woman from Long Island who picked her late husband's favorite number and came here hoping for a fresh start, this is more money than she probably ever imagined walking away with. Her family is looking at her. Her daughters are looking at her. The martini is probably wearing off. And $221,000 is flashing on that screen. But here is the thing about Laura Ciano. She does not settle. Not in life, not in love, and definitely not on Deal or No Deal. $221,000 rejected. The audience gasps. Laura is going one more round, one more case, one more chance to prove that Theo's number was the right choice all along. One more case, one more chance to see if the $1 million is in case 7. She opens the case, and the $500,000 is gone. The safety net just snapped. The board still has the $1 million, but it also has a bunch of tiny amounts. The odds have shifted dramatically. The banker is calculating. And Laura is getting ready to make the smartest move of the entire night. The new offer comes in at $188,000. It went down from $221,000. The banker watched that $500,000 disappear from the board and immediately recalculated. The leverage shifted, the numbers changed, and the banker dropped the offer to let Laura know, 2014, your board just got worse, and I am not afraid of you anymore. Laura's family is worried. Her daughter tells her to finish her drink, and this is when Laura decides to use her one-time counter-offer. She has been saving it all game for exactly this moment. She counters with $225,000. Not 200, not 210, 225, 2014, 4,000 more than what the banker offered when the board was better. The audacity, the confidence, the sheer Laura Ciano energy of that move is off the charts. Now think about this. The banker offered 221 earlier and Laura said no. The $500,000 is gone now, so the board is actually worse. But Laura is countering with more than the previous offer. Is the banker going to accept 225 on a board that is worse than when they offered 221? The math says no. The logic says absolutely not. Every calculator in the world says the banker should reject this. But Laura believes. She has been believing all night long. And belief is a powerful thing. And the banker says yes. Deal. $225,000. The banker accepted her counteroffer. Let that sink in. 2014, Laura named her price. And the banker paid it. The crowd erupts. $225,000 for a woman who came here carrying her late husband's memory in the number on her case. $250,000 to start fresh. College money for her girls. A new car. A down payment on a future she can finally see clearly. This is not just a game show win. This is a woman rebuilding her life in real time, on national television, and a $225,000 check in the other. She did it. She actually did it. And the reveal? Absolutely perfect. And the reveal? Absolutely perfect. Laura's case 7, Theo's number held a single penny, 1 penny. She sold a penny for $225,000. If she had said no deal one more time, if she had kept going instead of countering, the offers would have crashed. She would have walked away with almost nothing. The counter-offer did not just save her game 2014, it defined it. It was the single best, most perfectly timed, most brilliantly executed decision anyone has ever made on Deal or No Deal. She was so loud, the banker said his ears were bleeding.
He said he wants me to put the medical staff on alert. His ears are bleeding.
She worked for a mortgage company, she had a heart of gold, and tonight she was the second contestant in the most cutthroat format Deal or No Deal had ever attempted winner-take-all. 3 players, 1 night. Only the biggest deal walks away with everyone's money. What Shalonda London did with that pressure was unforgettable. Shalonda London works for a mortgage company. She's the mother of multiple kids, and she is, by her own proud admission and every single person's confirmation, the loudest woman you have ever met in your entire life. When she walked onto the Deal or No Deal stage, the volume in the studio didn't just go up, it exploded. She screamed, she danced, she clapped, she shook the cameras. She didn't need a microphone, she was the microphone. Even Howie Mandel, a man who has dealt with literally every type of personality imaginable across hundreds of episodes of this show, took one look at Shalonda and said, with complete sincerity, that she was the loudest woman he had ever encountered. And knowing Howie, he absolutely meant it as a compliment. But this wasn't a normal game of Deal or No Deal. This was winner take all, the special cutthroat format where 3 contestants each play their own separate game on the same night, and at the end, whoever walks away with the highest amount wins everyone's money combined. The other 2 leave with absolutely nothing. Zero. Nada. It doesn't matter how well you played or how much the audience loved you. If your deal is lower than someone else's, you go home empty-handed. That's the beauty and the cruelty of winner take all. She brought her sister Gina, her kids, and enough raw energy to power a small city. Gina told the audience that Shalonda has the biggest heart imaginable. She's always giving, always loving, always putting others first. Shalonda picked her case with zero hesitation, and the second game of Winner Take All was officially underway. 6 cases to open, and Shalonda's first round was outstanding. Cases 3, 11, 7, 23, and more opened up. And the results were clean. Small amounts left the board. The top 6 amounts were completely untouched, including the $1 million. Shalonda was screaming with joy after every safe case, and the crowd was screaming right along with her. Her energy was infectious. The banker made the first call, and Howie relayed a message that had the whole studio laughing. The banker wanted medical staff put on alert because his ears were bleeding.
He said he wants me to put the medical staff on alert. His ears are bleeding.
The first offer, $56,000. In a normal game, That's a strong start. But in winner take all, Shalonda had to think bigger. Was 56,000 enough to beat Eric and the third contestant who hadn't played yet? She had no way of knowing, but she knew it wasn't enough to feel safe. No deal. 5 cases to open, and this round brought the first real damage. Shalonda opened cases 15, 16, 8, 2, and 1 more. Some of the bigger amounts started falling off the board. 500,000 was eliminated. 750,000 followed in the same round. The board was losing its top-end firepower fast, but the million was still there, and 100,000 and 300,000 were still in play. The game wasn't dead yet. The banker's second offer dropped to $38,000, lower than the first. The damage from losing the 500 and 750 had clearly spooked the banker. Shalonda's sister Gina was firm. "I want to win this million." Her kids agreed. And Shalonda, the woman whose voice could be heard 3 studios away, looked at 38,000 and practically yelled it off the board. No deal. She wasn't here for 38,000, she was here to win it all. 4 cases to open. And this is where things got truly wild. The first few cases brought more damage, mid-range amounts cleared out, thinning the board further. But case after case, the $1 million survived. It was still sitting on the board like a golden beacon, refusing to leave, refusing to let Shalonda's game die. By the end of the round, 3 significant amounts remained: the million, 300,000, and 100,000. Everything else was small. The banker actually sent a good offer this time: $69,000. Howie pointed out that the million surviving had driven the offer back up. This was higher than the second offer and reflected the fact that $1 million case was still alive in this game. But Shalonda was chasing the dream. She didn't take 69,000. She was going for the million. No deal. Would you have taken 69,000 in the winner-take-all format, knowing that number might or might not be enough to beat 2 other contestants? Or would you have pushed for more, like Shalonda? 3 cases to open, and this round was catastrophic. The amounts that had been holding Shalonda's game together started dropping like flies. 300,000 was eliminated, one of the last remaining big amounts on the board. The crowd groaned. Then 100,000 followed it off. The million was still hanging on, but it was now completely alone at the top. There was nothing supporting it. No safety net. No mid-range amounts to buffer the offers. It was the million, and a bunch of numbers that wouldn't buy a used car. The million eventually fell. It was inevitable, with so many cases remaining and only one big number left. When it happened, Shalonda reacted the way Shalonda reacts to everything: loudly, emotionally, and with her whole heart on display. "Oh my goodness!" she screamed. Oh my goodness, y'all. The crowd was right there with her, feeling every hit, every loss, every moment of this roller coaster. The offers crashed to single digits, then lower. The board was a wasteland of small amounts, but Shalonda kept going. She wasn't taking a small deal when she was playing winner take all. If she was going to compete against Eric and the third contestant, she needed to maximize whatever she could get, even if it meant rolling the dice all the way to the end. Case after case opened. The offers bounced around insignificant amounts. $4,000 was the final offer, and Shalonda, loud, fearless, all-heart Shalonda, turned it down. She was keeping whatever was in her case. 2 cases remained: Shalonda's case and one other. One held $10,000, the other held $200. Howie asked if she wanted to switch. Shalonda didn't hesitate. "I want this case," she said, gripping it like it was the deed to a house she'd already bought in her mind. She was staying with her pick. Win or lose, she was going out as Shalonda London, loud, proud, and committed to the end. The case opened. $10,000, not the $200. It was the better of the 2 remaining amounts, and Shalonda was thrilled. But the real question, the only question that mattered in winner take all, was whether $10,000 would be enough to beat Eric Serpico and David Vincent, the third contestant who hadn't played yet.